heavens, back when the earth was just magma and rain. A few million years and the trouble was starting. We got connected in an organic chain. What, oh what are you by now? Why'd you turn into something so strange? I thought I had found me a nice stable life form. Time comes and mutate and you was changed. I told you, my darling, that life was just dandy, just like it was, didn't need nothing newer. Scarfing up organic compounds like candy, drifting around in the primordial sewer. What, oh what are you by now? Why'd you turn into something so strange? I thought I had found me a nice stable life form. Time comes to mutate and she was changed. I told you, my darling, your vacuole's gorgeous. Your pseudopods wrap around food with such grace. But now there's a million just like you, I'm curious. How come you had to grow limbs and a face? What, oh what are you by now? Why'd you turn into something so strange? Thought I had found me a nice stable life form. Time comes to mutate and she was changed. Mutation has kept us on top of Earth's guest list. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean to be rude. The nuclear winter is making you restless and me kinda nervous about what you'll extrude. What, oh what are you by now? Why'd you turn into something so strange? I thought I had found me a nice stable life form. Time comes to mutate and she was changed. Once more. What, oh what are you by now? Why'd you turn into something so strange? I thought I had found me a nice stable life form. Time comes to mutate and she was changed.
Welcome to Ohio, a land so rich and green. Strange things abound here, only half of them obscene. There's creatures roaming all about, on land and in the deep. God and Satan, fight it out, your immortal soul to keep. It seems that Bigfoot visits Coshocton about once or twice a year. He's big and strong, he stinks like hell, and his cry inspires fear. He leaves tracks and mess all about, his hair found in a bunch. Much like an average macho male, is hairy old Sasquatch. And there's a monster in Lake Erie, a fisherman did spy. He said 'twas 20 feet long, shaped like a log with bumps on the upper side. Oh, that's just a horny female sturgeon with eggs, the experts say. She just came up to find a male for a little row in the waves. And on an oil tank in Pastoria, Christ's image was revealed. The roads were clogged for miles around by pilgrims showing zeal. quite a flap. He got fired when he paint ballooned that religious tourist trap. And there's devil cults near Canton by some Christians we are told. They tell us Bambi and Thumper are sacrificed and then dumped along the road. They say explain these furry flattened frisbees marked with Celtic runes of dread. I wasn't impressed, but those critters were by Firestone retreads. And there's a poltergeist in Columbus, the headlines did proclaim. They ran photos of a telephone quickly moving unexplained. But then a news cam caught her sleight of hand. She's a fake, the press did solve. They got no intercourse with the spirit world. They got a cheap hand job. Now, all the tales that I sang here were believed by lots of folk, though most of us in the SF crowd considered them a joke. But we shouldn't make fun of what they think, nor dismiss them out of hand. Remember, imagination is the guiding path from mundane to neo-fan. Yes, imagination is the guiding path from mundane to neo-fan. Welcome to Ohio.
Playing games is easy to do when everyone is playing too. Pick up line and one that high. Too many times can leave you dry. You give it up, get yourself free. Next thing you know, you're needing me. It's all too easy to just relax. It scares you to keep coming back. You're running from a real thing. You're running from an easy open door. You're running from a real thing. Don't go running anymore. You felt safe with one night stands, but now a real thing's in your hands. Taking it slow is going too fast, and you're afraid that it'll last. You're running from a real thing. You're running from an easy open door. You're running from a real thing. Don't go running anymore. Playing games is easy to do when everyone is playing too. Pick up line and one that high. Too many times can leave you dry. You felt safe with one night stands, but now a real thing's in your hands. Taking it slow is going too fast, and you're afraid that it'll last. You're running from a real thing. You're running from an easy open door. You're running from a real thing. Don't go running
Some fans become famous as writers. Some fans become famous in song. but I've become famous for one thing. I do twixt the sheets all night long. I do it much better than many men, and longer and stronger than most. You can ask any femme fan who slept with me. They'll tell you it's no idle boast that I snore. I snore with the strength of a dragon's proud roar, like the wind breaking free of a hurricane's scree. Like a B-23 do I snore. I start with a snort like a chainsaw, then louder and louder it grows, till it rattles the doors and the window panes, and makes folks clench their teeth and toes. But my volume alone's not sufficient. My technique is what drives folks away, or I'll stop all my noise on the intake. Till the people scream, please breathe, BJ. I snore with the strength of a dragon's proud roar, like the wind breaking free of a hurricane's scree. Like a B-23 do I snore. My problem's not anything medical, like those poor folks who face surgery, but the shape of my larynx and palate gives rise to this cacophony. Now artists must suffer for art's sake, so I guess I am stuck with this thing, since it's in my anatomical arrangement. If I couldn't snore, I couldn't sing. So I snore with the strength of a dragon's proud roar, like the wind breaking free of a hurricane's scree. Like a B-23 do I snore. I snore with the strength of a dragon's proud roar, like the wind breaking free of a hurricane's scree. Like a B-23 do I snore.
One night I left my condo on the beach at Malibu. I was going for a sunset stroll. There was no one out but me, and I was grooving to the beat of that good old rock and roll. And suddenly I saw a great big light in the sky, and I thought I must be losing my mind. 'Cause when it moved in closer I could tell for sure it was a spaceship of the alien kind. I wondered what the hell was in that coke that I sniffed when it landed in a cloud of sand. It was flashing red and green and blue and making weird sounds. Never saw a light show quite so grand. When a door slid open in the side of that thing, you know I nearly peed in my jeans. And then a man and a woman stepped out onto the sand. They were the handsomest I'd ever seen. They had long blonde curly hair and bright blue eyes with a gorgeous California tan. They were small on the bottom, they were big on the top, and I felt a stirring in my glands. They were silent as the ship beamed out a message to me in bright letters of electric blue. It said we come from a planet in the Pleiades, and we are humanoids a lot like you. Now 8061 here and 8062, they are androids of an ancient kind. They were made by kids in artificial intel class with an old program that they happen to find. And though they're physically perfect in every way, they left the personality out. The only thing they'll talk about is parties and clothes, and they have to stamp their feet to count. We know that the earth isn't very advanced, but once we were a lot like you. And here on earth we thought that we could find a good home for 806, 1 and 2. Physical beauty without any brains we devalued centuries ago. But here they will be treated like a god and a goddess. We hope you won't deny that it's so. I figured that they knew I was a Hollywood agent as I nodded to the flashing lights. They blinked me back a greeting and the ship flew away and it vanished in the starry night. The droids began to chatter, so I took them inside, but they kept me up the whole night long. Their conversation ran on how to get a good tan and their favorite disco dancing songs. By morning, I discovered they believed they were human from a town in rural Ohio. Science fiction was a concept they did not comprehend, and they did not believe in UFOs. I put them in the caddy and we drove through LA till we got to Hollywood and Vine. And we went to see a man who was a studio exec. He was a golfing pal of mine. Now they wouldn't let me in because I had no appointment, though I nearly battered down his door. But when he saw those droids, he nearly fainted away, and he foamed at the mouth as he roared. Hey man, you done it this time. I don't know where you found him, but just you leave these kids with me. And he drew up a contract right there on the spot with 65% for me. That was 10 years ago, and now their faces are plastered over every tabloid's cover page. Every time they make a movie, it's a great big smash, and it's amazing how they never age. And you know, it's got me laughing all the way to the bank, 'cause I'm the only one to see that the idols of a nation are a couple of droids with a lot of missing circuitry. I know that your values aren't very advanced, but why should that matter to me? Because at 40 years of age I am a billionaire, something most of you will never be. Physical beauty without any brains was the making of my robot stars. So when you're standing in that supermarket checkout line, I hope you try and guess who they are.
Once I was taught that the law would protect you with justice and mercy, both loving and stern. Once I was taught that all men were thought equal. I'm sorry, life's not what I've learned. Once I was taught that the law had its logic. Appeals to emotion routinely were spurned. Once I was taught it's presumed you're not guilty. I'm sorry, life's not what I've learned. Sorry that people are caught in a system that only wants vengeance with no stone unturned. Sorry that fairness has gone from the system. I'm sorry, life's not what I've learned. Once I was taught you were free to be living and practice the pathway to God you discerned. Once I was taught you were free to be different. I'm sorry, life's not what I'd learned. Once I was taught there were limits to power. The days were long over when heretics burned. Once I was taught there were things that we stood for. I'm sorry, life's not what I'd learned. Sorry that there's no true freedom for difference for those who must follow what they've always yearned. Sorry that I have no hope of it changing. I'm sorry life's not what I'd learned.
Well, a knight in shining armor may be quite a charmer, but dragons are a girl's best friend. Your dragon will amuse you, delight and bemuse you, and certain to be faithful to the end. Dragons know the old speech, and gladly will they e'er teach of things that are arcane and old. The air will protect you, and never will neglect you, though they be quite difficult to hold. Your knight will soon turn rusty, and he will not be trusty. His eyes will rove and he'll be gone. He will run away and lose you, baffle and confuse you, and you realize that the jerk has led you on. They say revenge is sweet, what to do when you meet with your knight and his lady that's new. With your dragon by your side, you can face him down with pride, and the blighter will know that he is through. Dragons care not how you're dressed, they are easily impressed, so put all your fears from your mind. You know you won't be spurned, and you never will be perned by ancient creatures so old and kind. Now you know why they are feuding, knights and dragons are disputing the ladies they each look to defend. But when it's all said and done, we know that dragons are more fun, for dragons are a girl's best friend.
There's a movement coming closer. It's a mammal, all hairy, but wearing thick plastic, unwise but still wary. This calls for some drastic attraction, something subtle. Let my pod open slow like an agonized flower. Curiosity grows and the praise in my power. And then faster than he has a chance to retreat, with no introduction we're forcibly met, and then with a kiss that he'll never forget, my lover and I are now one. For my lover you are without question or doubt. I know you completely both inside and out, and don't bother screaming, not even a shout. The breath in your breast is my own. I circle your throat like an amulet's chain, dulling your senses and numbing your brain, easing the loneliness, ending the pain, where the seeds of my new life are sown. There's a movement coming closer, rising up to the surface just under the skin, moving steady and sure, facing life with a grin, very cautious, very patient, building power like gathering castles of sand, reluctant to let any slip through its hand. It no longer needs any help from its hive. There's nothing to pause it, it can't help but thrive. So why must my lover and I stay alive when we've done what I set out to do? There's something that's happening deep in my breath, some instinct that's pulling me closer to death. But if I knew happiness, happy I'd be, for something will always remain here of me. And I don't even feel the touch when it comes to pluck me away from the hammering drums of the heart of my lover, who thinks that it's done. What a shame I can't tell him it's only begun.
Down the street one summer day, I chanced to meet an alien with fur of salad green.
feet tall with 7 eyes, a tail to flick away the flies, wearing top hat, bow tie, and blue jeans. Yeah, I was a little taken aback, but hey, I read the National Enquirer. This stuff happens every day. I said, I beg your pardon, sir, you're likely to cause quite a stir walking down the city streets like that. In this remote far edge of space, aliens are commonplace and no one these days wears that kind of hat. At which point he took off the hat and made this glorious, sweeping bow. Oh, it was wonderful. He said, fair maid, you are so nice. I thank you for your kind advice. From all the stares I got, I had a hunch that my behavior wasn't right, or perhaps my jeans too tight. May we discuss this further over lunch? He was wrong about the maid. He's right about the jeans. He offered me a furry arm, and I confess I was quite charmed. His manners were impeccable to see. We strolled along the avenue, and in my heart of hearts I knew this alien was just the man for me. I could already see the headlines. Woman has lunch with space alien. We found a dimly lit cafe and waited for the maitre d'. We stood there for 10 minutes, maybe more. My friend said Garson couldn't do. We'd find a quiet booth for two, but he just pointed dumbly towards the door. You'd think he'd never seen an 8-foot-tall green alien before. My God! I started to protest, but no, my friend just sadly turned to go, and then we saw just why we'd been refused. On the door there was a sign that said no patron here could dine wearing jeans or lacking shirt and shoes. My alien looked kind of glum at this point. I think he felt bad about embarrassing me. He was really a gentleman. He said, fair maid, you've been most kind. A nicer friend I'll never find, but I'm a Slavian now, for I can tell. You can't be seen in public when escorted by an alien. He kissed my hand and said to me, farewell. Now, wait a second. I was not going to give up that headline quite that easily. I coyly said, I know a place far cozier than outer space where we can have a quiet lunch alone. The ambiance is quite divine. They serve the best imported wine, and so I hailed a cab and took him home. I mean, I didn't care if he didn't have a shirt or shoes or whatever. We lunched on wine and caviar. He told me of the distant stars, and casually I started to undress. It's just been pointed out to me I'm singing for mixed company, so read next week's Enquirer for the rest.
Someone to wash dishes, and that was in accordance with my wishes. Of the 14 people working there, I was only one of 3 with purple hair. I guess it seemed like a good idea at the time. I need the green light to get my green card. I need some green backs to feed my green face. Wasn't in my plan. The INS is not my kind of place. Please, Mr. Lemigre man, just do the best that you can, 'cause I don't want to go back home to space. No one at the restaurant could pronounce or spell my name, so I picked one from the phone book just the same. Like a good idea, but I shouldn't have picked Manuel Garcia. I guess it seemed like a good idea at the time. you can, 'cause I don't wanna go back home to space. So when I migrated, I say soon arrested me. I don't think I qualify as a refugee. I'd ask an American to marry me, but I'm not sure which sex I'm supposed to be. It doesn't seem like such a good idea at this time. I need the green light to get my green card. I need some greenbacks to feed my green face. And Mr. Lemigger man, just do the best that you can. I don't want to go back home to space. And Mr. Lemigger man, just do the best that you can. I don't want to go back home to space.
I remember hearing thunder as the Saturn booster played. All the world was filled with wonder as another world we claimed. But now children can't recall walking on the moon at all. Wonder where our dreams have gone. Why did we not carry on? I believe that we must go where points of light give silent call. If we don't, we're headed nowhere, and mankind is doomed to fall. Since the dawn of time, our race has asked what lies beyond this place. Wonder where our dreams have gone. Why do we not carry on? Where now are our pioneers, or have we lost the will to dare? Raise your eyes, seek new frontiers, rekindle now the dream we share. Let us hope the day comes soon. We walk once more on the moon, and then carry on to Mars, and beyond, out to the stars.
First, a disclaimer. Unfortunately, most of the song is true. Now, just amongst us, me and you, I've been known to work for the ACLU, and I had a trial back in '84, the likes of which you don't see anymore. See, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky's big city, where the women are fast and the horses are pretty. You often got a call from me out in the sticks from a lady who was supposed to be a heretic. People said she was a witch. I said, say what? Not what? Witch. I said, who? I said, witch. And that got really old, really. The lady was a psychic. She gave advice, but she wanted lawfully to charge a price. She was open up front and she wanted to do it. She asked the county attorney just how to pursue it. He searched his statutes when he was down. He found Kentucky Revised Statute 231. For those who are interested in astrology, palmistry, clairvoyance, or phrenology, and any other strange phenomenology, which includes, I guess, parapsychology. No, that was not easy for me to say. The statute says the county judge must hold a hearing to see what the people want and what they're fearing. The judge must give notice of the purpose of the meeting, and it ought to be accurate and not misleading. Then the people of the county come and say, if they would, why she shouldn't get a permit, or maybe why she should. It was strange. Her attorney, not me, I'm still in the wings, asked for continuance, because the notice had been misleading. Overruled! But one of the local preachers, Brother Noble, the savage Noble, I told you this is true, friends and neighbors. He said, I got a revival tonight, and I know that's more important than anything you're doing over here, but I'd surely like to speak to this, so I'd like it. Now, what did that fine young lawyer fella call it? Judge, I'd like a continuance. And the county judge said, sure. Sure. We all knew what sure meant. Sure meant you lose. You didn't need clairvoyance to see the handwriting on the wall. Well, she had her
hearing, that's plain to see that all it was a travesty. The preachers at the local folk all stirred up with fear. They said, don't let her practice witcheries here. Suffer them not anywhere upon the scene. The legislate in Exodus 22:18. One of them sat right behind her head, whispering loudly, God strike her dead. Over and over. Like a mantra. Showing faith. Showing hope. Not what I would call showing charity. Well, the lawyers all meet to set up the appeal, scheduling the briefs, and trying to get the feel of what the others like till we learned to our own distress. It was all being changed by the man who wore the dress. Little black dress. We called him, Your Honor! Sir. Judge? Not the county judge. A real one. He cheated. He could read. Read the statute. Said the appeal due process called for a trial de novo in equity. Well, in English, that means a whole new trial in front of him. I'm not sure I've ever thought quite so fast to maintain control over the die had been cast, but I fixed on the judge with a Bob aspirin smile. Your Honor, what are the issues at trial? I had him. He had to think fast, too. The only place to go was the statute. If he went to the law, we won. He had to go to the law. He did. I cheated. I had read the statute, too. There were two issues that needed some clearing that took place in a preliminary hearing. Was the lady a clairvoyant? Have I got the gist, or was she just an unlicensed psychologist? I brought two witnesses to court with me, one a psychologist, a PhD, the other was another who was in the know, a psychic with his own talk radio show. It got weird.
Now it gets weird.
I was qualifying the psychologist as an expert witness, and the prosecutor asked, has this got anything to do with whether she practices palmistry, clairvoyance, phrenology, or astrology, etc.? And the witness said, who, me? Well, I kept my face straight. But it wasn't easy. See, she was a psychologist. She was a PhD. But she was also the leader of her own spiritualist church, who on her worst day was more psychic than my client on her best. Yep. I had stacked a deck. Pentacles wild. Healing a high priestess from the bottom. She ate the county attorney for lunch. That was kind of fun. I do have the transcript, and yes, indeed, she did say who me. And I've never let her forget. My radio psychic kept things on key. I had him define clairvoyance for me in terms like parapsychology from a book by a fellow that had a degree in magic from University of California. You see that this had to be coming from Berkeley. I had talked to the author. We couldn't afford to pay him, but if he had come, we had some lovely shtick planned. He would appear in a three-piece suit. I'd show up in all my old SCA gear. And everyone else would have to decide which was which, what was which, or whose on first, or something. Well, the judge decided I was right with a smile. On the 13th month we would go to trial. The statute left him with questions 3, one of which it was decided for me. 1. Had she been convicted in the last 2 years? Everyone agreed she had not. No fears. 2. Was her character good, and in this reputation, character is proved by her reputation? 3. Would she obey the laws of Kentucky in doing her business should she be so lucky? Those were our issues for trial. Trial was on June 13, 1984, and friends and neighbors, it was every bit the circus you might imagine. One witness testified no ifs, ands, or buts. He didn't want a subdivision filled with nuts that no one but a psychics didn't care, and he didn't want those kinds of people coming over there. My co-counsel had consulted her, and so impressed was he said upon the stand he was doing this for free. You know that nuts consulter said he with a smirk. The witness said, I know you'll never do my legal work. I couldn't help it. there my co-consul stood, egg on his face, dripping in a snoot. I had no right, no authority, but I spoke up anyways. Asking why not? He obviously works cheap. Oh my God, I never realized he was the original cheap. Oh, the judge just banged his gavel. Everyone laughed. But now they were laughing with us, and co-consul had time to recover. Double teaming is wonderful. Well, one of the witnesses was hostess could be, and he spit out his words like he was chewing down a tree. When asked why she shouldn't get the license she didn't seek, he told us he had advised he really shouldn't speak. We asked once again what he knew that he could tell. He said that he knew she was always casting spells. Right. I had no further questions. Once again, I cheated. I looked at the judge's face. I didn't need any further. This is true. Well, the judge took it under submission when we were done, and he ended his order on July 31. He waited for the last minute of the working day to let the people know what was going to be his day. His order was to grant the permit by his honor's leave, and so we won the witch trial. As we got to Llama Steve. But that's a coincidence. Like trying it on the 13th of the month. On the day of the full moon. On the 100th anniversary of the birth of the founder of the modern witchcraft. I believe in coincidence. Don't you? I do believe in coincidence. I do.
By your cries, how my arms ache to hold you and feel you warm against my breast. But I have never seen you, I have only dreamed you, and my longing does not rest. Dream child, sing to you a lullaby and rock myself to sleep. Sometimes you are a baby girl dressed in frills and lace, eyes the shade of a midnight sky, my smile on your face. Sometimes you are a little boy, laughing, calling me to play. And then the morning wakes me, and sorrow nearly takes me, as I see you slip away. Dream child, only you know the vigil my heart keeps, as I sing to you a lullaby and rock myself to sleep. In waking dreams I hold you, and I see your first smile. Will I ever love a real child as I love my dream child? But though I may never touch you, this doesn't mean you aren't real.
Well, I'm kinda new to SF cons and such things of that ilk. As far as most of you can guess, it's nearly my first filk. So far, I think I've seen it all. This place is full of sin. I even saw a naked lass playing the violin. Well, sort of naked. She wasn't wearing very much. They called her the Nazgul Queen. Well, my mind is still a reeling from everything I've seen. My heart is still a pounding from that naked Nazgul Queen. I don't know whether to run or hide or else to jump right in. It looks like fun for everyone, especially if it's sin. Well, I've seen it all, my mind is blown, Jesus take me home. Hobbit sells a Nazgul Queen, a little naked gnome. And anything your heart desires, you'll find it all right here. From booze to crazy parties and your deepest, darkest fear. Some folks think they are famous, some hope they will be soon. And 14 guys are standing here from Callahan's Saloon. Me, I don't know anyone, least of all myself. I'm 138th in line to meet some stupid elf. Well, I've seen it all, my mind is blown, Jesus take me home. Hobbits, elves, a Nazgul Queen, a little naked gnome. And anything your heart desires, you'll find it all right here. From booze to crazy parties and your deepest, darkest fear. I just saw Brother Swaggart looking in here from outside. It looks like he is shaken and his eyes are mighty wide. I think that Brother Swaggart just now saw our Nazgul Queen. It looks like he is doing something he said was obscene. Well, I've seen it all, my mind is blown, Jesus take me home. And Hobbit sells a Nazgul Queen, a little naked gnome. And anything your heart desires, you'll find it all right here. From booze to crazy parties and your deepest, darkest fear. Hey, Binkley, get a load of this thing in my closet, will you?
Lonely young wife in her dreaming discerns the lily-decked pool with a border of ferns and a beautiful child with butterfly wings trips down to the edge of the water and sings, "Come, mama, come, quick, follow me, step out on the leaves of the water lily." Lonely young wife, her heart beating wild, cries, "Wait till I come, till I reach you, my child." But the beautiful child with butterfly wings steps out on the leaves of the lily and sings, "Come, mama, come, quick, follow me, and step on the leaves of the water lily." So the wife in her dreaming steps out on the stream, but the lily leaves sing, and she wakes from her dream. Oh, the waking is sad for the tears that it brings. She knows 'tis her dead baby's spirit that sings, "Come, mama, come, quick, follow me, and step on the leaves of the water lily." Come, mama, come, quick, follow me, step out on the leaves of the water lily.
I sit beneath a shady tree and contemplate the sky. I did not plant the tree, nor did my dad in days gone by. But my grandfather who planted it was wise enough to say, "If you would grow tomorrow, you must plant the dream today, and like a tree, we must grow with our roots in the earth below, and like a tree, we will die we cannot raise our branches to the sky. The tree of dreams does not grow tall in just a single day. And those who plant a sapling know the fruit is far away. Yet we must make the effort now for futures to come true, and plant dreams in our children that will grow their whole life through. And like a tree, we must grow with our roots in the earth below. And like a tree, we will die if we cannot raise our branches to the sky. I sit beneath a shady tree and contemplate the stars the tree grandfather planted in the ruddy sands of Mars.
Gone awry, I'm a puppet on a string to a man I can't defy, who says he'll make of me a king. My way back home is gone, my life is in his hands. My only hope to play along till someone understands that I'm trapped outside my time like a fly in amber stone. I can learn to make the motions, but my heart screams for my home. I know someone will come, my friends won't let me down. For a while until I'm rescued, I can try to wear a crown. But as the days slip by and weeks turn into years, no matter how I try, the weight calls forth my deepest fears. My reign is well begun, my mentor pleased with me, yet history tells me what will come if no one sets me free. And I'm trapped inside this time like a fly in amber stone. I'm going through the motions while my heart still screams for home. No tribal chieftain I on a petty local throne. I'm Cyrus, king of Persia, with a destiny well known. A stranger from the west has come into the town. My friend, the man who knows me best, has finally tracked me down. A daring, desperate game may free me from this web. If it fails, I'll wear this name until the day I'm dead, and be trapped within this time like a fly in amber stone, to finish out the motions though my heart still screams for home. We must take the loop away, straighten out the twisted line.
unicorn song is like many you've heard, except that I wrote it myself. It's got magical forests and sweet singing birds, and maybe a virginal elf. Now the 5th and 6th lines never sound very good, for the forest is threatened by men. But the EPA looks out for unicorn woods, so it all ends up happy again. Well, the unicorn song is a folklore tradition that's held on for many a year, with a syrupy style that I wouldn't wish on the makers of 3-2 light beer. It's got faint reminiscence of childhood days and the magic that dwells in the heart, and a truckload of similar hoary cliches that aren't worth a unicorn's fart. On a midsummer night, when the moon shines above, he'll appear with such beauty and grace that a maiden will sigh and forsake human love for a horse with a horn on his face. He'll lie down and he'll settle his head in her lap with his heart gleaming horn on her thigh. If I were to try that, I'd probably get slapped, and the chance of arrest would be high. Now would any of you women give up your fellas for an equine with burrs, ticks, and fleas? And the horn's healing properties seem suited well as a treatment for social disease. Wonderful, went away, hadn't it? I hate it. Vamp until ready, I'll get the song right. If I have to sit here and think of it all night, the lyrics will come back, I promise they will. And then I'll get on with this miserable swill. I promise I will. If she is experienced, she is ignored. From experienced girls, they abstain. The unicorn uses her once, then gets bored. Casanova with hooves and a mane. So women, oh listen, your virtue is pure if you live by your own heart's advice. When a unicorn shows up on your door, be sure that you're willing to tender the price. And who knows, the mass media may soon make clear that the unicorn's days are now rare. So who knows, the next unicorn song that you hear might be sung by Bette Midler or Cher.
Racer, strong and fast, but the headaches come ever more often, and the dizziness always returns, and the word that she hears is leukemia, and it burns. Cranes over Hiroshima, white and red and gold, flicker 644, till the day her trembling fingers can fold no more. Cranes over Hiroshima, white and red and gold, flicker in the sunlight like a million vanished souls. I will fold these cranes of paper to 1,000 one by one, and I'll fly away when I am done. Her friends did not forget her. Crane after crane they made until they reached 1,000, and they laid them upon her grave. People from everywhere gathered, and together a prayer they said, and they wrote the words in granite so none can forget. This is our cry, this is our prayer. Peace in the world, this is our cry, this is our prayer. Peace in the world, this is our cranes over Hiroshima.